Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American, West Indian, Haitians, and the foreign Israelites that are scattered across the four corners of the earth that look like the other four nations. Got to give all praises to Barak Yahawah, Barak Yahawashi, Barak Yahawah, Barak Yahawashi, Barak Yahawah, Barak Yahawashi. I want to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, our Qadash. I want to give double honors to those and apostles who led me to this truth in faith and sincerity. We have all come here to witness the fall of these wicked nations. And Great Millstone, I'd like to give double honors to Great Millstone, who led me to this truth. And they're here to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, and show forth the Lord's righteousness and judgment, mercy, forgiveness, and wrath to all who are part of the hopeful elect. Lord will be part of that number. Lord willing, this be edifying to those who fear in the name of the Lord and are striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5. Lord willing, we part of that number. We make it out of here, and his judgment is not slack. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9. So I tried to do camp yesterday, and tried to get in there and still had some phone problems. So I'm about to go try to figure something out today to be able to figure out how to get out there. The phone that I had kept dying, but I'm gonna go out there today and try to figure out something. But first I want to go ahead and do this video and kind of talk about some things that's going on with Russia, because America, Babylon the Great, and the other nations, the other than EU, they're all putting more sanctions on them. And you know how it is when you corner a wild animal, you keep pushing it and keep trying to make it tougher for us to survive. Well, it's going to eventually attack. And this is what they're doing to Russia right now. They are the most sanctioned nation in period. And this is why everybody is going to, all these other nations are going to join together under them, because they're not backing down. So this is earlier, I found this. It says U.S. sanctions Russia on war anniversary. When they did the whole anniversary thing, they sanctioned them. It says the latest restrictions target more than 100 entities, both with Russia and worldwide, including banks and suppliers of defense equipment. So they didn't just hit them. They hitting everybody who's trying to help them. This is what's stirring up that pot and making them want to come after, the West a lot more seriously. So it says U.S. wants to stop helping Russia exploit loopholes to get sanctioned materials. White House flesh round aid of Ukraine is worth $2 billion. It's a lot of money getting dumped off into this war, because they know this is going to be the war that determines what's going to happen. And ultimately, we're not sure who's going to win. We know that Russia's going to destroy America, Babylon the Great, but it never said who was going to win this war. But we know that in the end result of it, Russia and the other nations are they're going to do something about it, because they're tired of America, Babylon the Great sanctioning them whenever, they know that their America, Babylon the Great has always been the bully. And Russia's finna start getting some aid, because now they're sanctioning everybody around them who's even believing in them. Also right here, talked about how their convoy that they did on the Sabbath, it was in failure. So that's another thing, because I remember listening a couple months ago, it was talking about how he was saying if he lost, he was going to turn a nuclear war, and America said he was bluffing. We know what the Bible says. He's not bluffing. and they're trying to back them up into a corner, and they're all turning on them. But it's going to change. It looks like America Babylon is going to win. Right here it says no economic knockout yet from West sanctions on Russia. 1 month into the invasion, something that was important. It was talking about. It says it says the ruble trades around the same 75 per dollar rate seen in the weeks before the war. Through Russia, it is using capital controls to prop up currency. And while Russia's economy did shrink 2.2% in 2022, that was far short of the predictions of 15% more that the Biden administration officials showcased this year, and the economy projected to outperform the UK's growing 0.3%, while the UK faces a 0.6 contraction, the International Monetary Fund said. So see, as they're sanctioning Russia, everybody else's money is failing too. And it's gonna and it says something about and this is all because the elites. The elites are, it's ultimately Bahasham Yahawashi, but it's these elites. He's stirring them up to make them put more pressure on these pieces, on these kings. So I'm gonna pull this up and then look up a little bit more. Show you a little bit more that the Lord put the spirit on me to come across. This is gonna be a fairly short video because I gotta go handle some things. But the Lord did bless me with a plantation job, and I'll be able to stay into the ministry to the best of my abilities, Lord willing. I also want to say the water for Yahawashi, Yahawashi, giving us another day to breathe and live, and to have one more day of hope that He'll come and get us. It comes down to it. Says in Romans 6:23, the wages of sin is death. But we've been blessed to have this knowledge, so we got a better shot. So the water Yahawashi Yahawashi for waking us up again. Therefore, it says Jeremiah 50:45, hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahawashi Yahawashi that He have taken against Babylon. And that counsel is great millstone, is what I believe, it's what it's talking about, is His men, and everybody who believes in them. Of course, it all came from one West, but there's one Westerners who are bucking up against the truth, and they're coming up and trying to attack the men of the Lord. And so we know that there's still one West, but they're just, they're not right for what they're doing. They need to repent and come back to the truth, because we all know, all followers over here, we know Great Millstone has the truth. And even the heathens know that we got the truth. They know that Great Millstone and the ones who follow Great Millstone, they got a target on our backs. I got steady stuff coming at me right now. But, I'm giving that all Yahawashi Yahawashi. And however it plays out, I'm still going to worship Yahawashi Yahawashi. He likes it whenever we go through adversity and we still praise His name. He wants to see if we're going to stay around like Job did. So that He have taken against Babylon and His purposes, and He that purposed against the land of the Chaldeans, so-called white nations, so-called white men. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, which is the Idumeans, which is Amalek. Amalek is the first descendants of Esau, which is the small hats, the ones that say that they're the Jews. That's over there. They're hiding out in Iraq right now. But they control everything from America, Babylon the Great, all the crates, everything they bring in here, all that stuff. And that's how they can make these sanctions. That's why U.S. can say, oh, we're making a sanction on this place. Well, the elites, they take out that bread from those people, because that's where everybody get their stuff from. So surely He shall make their habitation desolate with them. And that's what's happening. They're drawing everybody out to pressuring everybody to make a move. And everybody's got nuclear missiles now. Iran's real close. They 84%, close. They're just controlling 4% pure. Can't remember exactly what it was, but I did another video about it. I'm not too knowledgeable about that kind of stuff, but this is another thing I want to pull up. Okay, this is going to be the new pandemic they got going on. It's going to be a lot of people start getting sick off this. Why I haven't been eating no chicken, you know? But it says H5N1 Cambodian girl dies in rare bird flu case. But we seen there's another video. There's a whole bunch of birds dying from that stuff. It's been millions of birds that have been dying. They've been having to separate them. And this is going to be their next pandemic to kick in with all the other little pandemics they got to gain that control. So it's an 11-year-old girl in Cambodia has died from the country's first known human case of bird flu in 9 years. So this is here it's coming back, and it started with the animals, and now this 11-year-old girl then mysteriously caught it. But see, it said almost 42 million individual cases in domestic wild birds. That's a lot of birds. You know, that they know it's coming. They know what they're doing. They're trying to scare people to take that sea hit. And it's going to get worse and worse and worse as we go along. You know, that's what we need. Bahasham, Yahawashi. EU hits Russia with more sanctions 1 year after invasion. So this is not, let alone America, U.S. The EU's hitting them with Russia too. Look at Putin over there like, all right, y'all gonna keep backing me up in this corner? Okay. Okay, don't forget, I got a whole bunch of hypersonic missiles in the east right now. All they gotta do is press a button. But they're not gonna do it unless the Lord tells them to, because that's Revelation 17:17. This is just, the Lord speeding up his clock. Talking about union member states back the 10th package of sanctions on Russia. 10 packages. It is killer. And the people that's over there, some of them is Israel, some of them is the elect. So they're going through way harder trials than us over here in America, Babylon the Great. We got some trials, over here too. Not trying to say that we don't. But we want to make sure we pray for the elders and apostles that's over there in Russia, and because we everywhere. They ordained a GMS member in every city. So they over there. They're everywhere. We're scattered, and if there's not nobody remotely there, there's somebody who believes in Yahawashi there. So to make sure I kind of get down and do my prayers a little bit more, and trying to keep my mind circumspect and not to think, too fast. And just keep my eyes focused on Yahawashi because I got a lot of wrath trying to come down on me. The devil trying to come to me with a whole bunch of wrath right now, but it's not, I'm not worried because it's the Lord. He's seeing if we're going to hold firm and still teach his doctrine. So European Union, they're talking about the 10 package, including the tighter export restrictions and technology controls, as well as requiring banks to report information on Russian central bank and other sanctions assets they hold. See, they just all in their stuff, man. It's all in their Kool-Aid. It's all in there. But when it comes down to it, everybody's going to turn on America, Babylon the Great, because they tired of America, Babylon the Great. We tired of America, Babylon the Great. All the other nations tired of them. EU probably tired of them. They just trying to make it seem like they're transferring the power right now so they can have something to go, destroy. And that's ultimately the Lord. Because he said in Second Esdras, talking about the more you deck your houses out with silver and gold, the more angry I'm going to be with you. When they sanction those nations and they take that money from them, the Edomites go and use that stuff. So President Joe Biden announced nearly $500 million more of U.S. military aid to Ukraine during the surprise visit to Kyiv this week. And so that's what they're doing too. They're taking their money and sanctioning it. They try and go over there and give it to them. They done gave them $112 billion in 2022 alone. That's a lot of money, Look at that. Largest donors to the military aid in Ukraine, $46.6 billion. Like, that's got to be something going on It's got to be something real serious for America Babylon the Great to get him $50 billion damn near in 1 year. You know, and they telling everybody else in America, yeah, donate to Ukraine because they're just some random ass country and we're not really fighting Russia. You know, they don't want you to see that. Hey, this is really this is a big number, man. Ain't nobody else is throwing in bread like that. They throwing in all their bread in there. And that's why Russia's losing because they're using all the money they got to keep them contained. And look at that military money, more than half of it, because they got the financial and they got the humanitarian. They're giving them everything. And these other nations right here, all these, they're gonna come and be a guard with they're gonna be a guard to Russia because right now they're still giving over money to the U.S. because they're scared. They're still scared of the U.S. because why? Because both of them, him and the EU, they got the most bread. But you know, it's gonna come to that point to where all these famines and all this other stuff that they issue in, when it gets to that point where they're weak enough, these nations is gonna turn on them, man. Nations is gonna turn on them. Period. They're not getting away with how they've treated the nation. You know, America Babylon the Great tired of its own people, and this is what it says in Jeremiah 50 verse 11. They're tired of his people, man. Everybody tired of America Babylon the Great because they keep late. They can't get out of debt. We can't get out of debt. For lo, I will raise and cause up Jeremiah 50 verse 11. Because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass, and bellow as bulls. Your mother shall be sore confounded, which is Great Britain. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. Because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. So that's just, that's what's going on. Uh, they pushing the bear into that corner, and eventually he gonna bite back. And it's gonna turn nuclear. You know, we already know in Ezekiel chapter 38 verse 4 it talks about all the nations will come a guard unto him. So that's just kind of what I wanted to deal with real fast. And then here's a couple videos, and I want to pull in the scripture before I do this one. Psalm 64 verse 7. So it says Yahawah shoots his arrow at them. Oh wait, I like the King James version. It says Psalm 64 7, but Yahawah shall shoot them with an arrow, and suddenly they shall be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. So this is just a video that Edomite made, and it showed like the stuff about what was happening with senior George Bush, old school Bush.
For a fact that he's poisoned his own people. He doesn't believe in the worth of each individual. We must do everything we possibly can to stop the terror. Now watch this drive.
See, we're gonna do everything. We're gonna stop the terror. So let me go play golf. See what I'm saying? This is how Esau eat a miss, man. They know what they're doing.
Tyrant was fallen in Iraq.
See, my Doomians even hate them, man. He said he went to Iraq in 2003 and all his friends is dead, man. It was just a grunt to them. They didn't care about him. But they was mad, man. They was mad, man. Now, this has got something to do with a glacier. And this is a big deal because the glaciers melting is always a big deal. You know, that's got to do with a lot of stuff, but this is the Lord preparing destruction for wherever place he set it to be destroyed. You know, we don't know who's going to get flooded from this. We don't know. I thought I'd put this out there and bring it to attention. So it's the same size as Florida. This glacier is known as the Doomsday Glacier because if it melts, sea levels will rise more than 45 centimeters. That's a lot. Scientists have deployed a robot called IceFin to learn about the weights. Used to hot water to melt 600-meter core broke through the ice, lowered into the sea below. So it sent warning from the ocean beneath. Around 10% of the way these subsea surfaces cracked and rippled, and they said they called this glacier the Doomsday Glacier. So this is a big deal, you know, that it's cracking. That's how you know that it's melting. It says it's the size of Florida, man. It's a big glacier. Come on. It's lucky. It's loading. Let me do this. Bring it back up to where we were at. Salakia. A little issue with it. Yep, and this increases the surface area of the ice. It speeds up the melting process. Experts say sea levels will be 86 centimeters higher by the end of this century if we fail to keep global temperatures below 2 degrees Celsius. And there was an article that I found talking about there's a major heat wave coming right now. So, you know, for them to say they try to, you see how they know this? How you know they use that heart machine? Because I'm like, if we fail to keep global temperature, how are you gonna keep global temperature unless you control it? You see, they control it, but ultimately, Yahawashi controls it. That's just bringing in these floods, these major floods that we've had this year. It's due to that stuff melting and all this different weather. That stuff was meant to block off a lot of stuff. The Lord's, you know, he's a lot letting Esau Edom do away with the nations. So this is something I found that was a little interesting. Now, how I look at it is like he's right to an extent, because ultimately what he's saying is the degree is not going to save you. Only Bahasham and Yahawashi can save you. That's what I got out of this. You know, you got Jake down here talking about, you got some saying whatever. But all of them are just, you know, they don't believe in Yahawashi. But this is basically just something I wanted to pull up because, you know, this guy's, he's rich. He's got a lot of money. He made his own corporation. You know, he knows a lot about how to make money. So you got some people who will argue with him and disagree and agree, but hey, he's got the money. So you know how it is in America, Babylon the Great. If they say it's not worth nothing, then it's not worth nothing. They said Israel wasn't worth nothing. And we out here scrambling for every dollar we got. So these people in college is gonna have a rude awakening coming pretty soon. Because I'm telling you, if this rich guy, he thinks like that, the rest of them do.
There's no need even to have a college degree at all, or even high school. Our brain has evolved to discard information that it thinks has no relevance. You're being asked to memorize formulas, but you do not know why.
Every little flower of curiosity, said Einstein, is crushed. We think that memorization is science, and that's not true at all.
Picking a problem and then using math or physics to solve that problem is far more engaging. There's no need even to have a college degree.
He was basically saying you can go get a degree, but if you don't know how to solve the world's problems, you mean nothing. Like that's basically what they're saying. Because he don't got no college degree. He's super rich. He don't run Tesla. He runs all this stuff. Why? Because he know how to solve problems. So all these people out here going to school, trying to get their doctor's degree, trying to do all that, cool, whatever. But the ones who own the hospitals, the ones who own everything, they didn't get that off of making a college degree. They got that because they know how to solve problems. And that's what Yahawashi is doing right now. He's solving the problem. He's taking out these wicked nations, and he's taking out 2/3 of Israel who don't want to take it, don't want to repent, take heed. People keep doing whatever they want to do. We're supposed to be redeeming the time because the days are evil. I'll pull that up, and then I'm gonna close out. I don't want to be too long. Just want to try to stay consistent, you know. And I was listening to one of the elders last night from Mississippi, and he was talking about how we got to dedicate ourselves more and more time to the Lord at this time, especially this time. So it says, redeeming the time, Ephesians 5:16, redeeming the time because the days are evil. And how do we redeem the time? By sticking with the prophecy, meditating in the prophecy, and, you know, putting forth our best extra effort to feed the flock every day to the best of our abilities. We do got a lot of stuff going on. The Lord he's balancing me out right now. You know, I went and got this plantation job, but I'm still going to try to keep that mindset of, hey, I get off work, I need to come home, look at some stuff going on. Yeah, I might be tired. I still need to get in there and dedicate that time to the Lord. Go in there, put a video in there and do some, and, you know, learn some more about the Lord, you know, to the best of my abilities. So wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. The will of the Lord is destroy these wicked nations for what they've done to Israel. He's going to do that. But he also, his will is also to save the elect out of here. So Lord willing, be part of that number that can be saved out of this, because it's getting worse and worse every day. So that's just something I wanted to bring up, just to keep in mind. Thank the water for tuning in. I want to give all praises to Yahawashi, Yahawashi, Bahasham, our Qadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles who led me to this truth. And in faith and sincerity, Lord willing, he allows us to continue in the faith and to see the downfall of these wicked nations. So stay prayed up. It's going to get tougher and tougher. The Lord's going to try everyone who believes in this faith. And it's because he's preparing us for the time to come. Because if we can't keep ourselves and not keep our composure at this time, you know, no matter what we're going through, there's no way we're going to make it through those days. Because it's going to have to be a real wicked spirit in the air to get most of the world to take this sea hill and think it's okay. Like, they're going to think it's not a big deal. And everybody else, they're going to basically label us a disease, a walking disease. You know, it's going to be the first time we've ever experienced a worldly hatred out in the open. It used to be secretive. They used to just, use their philosophies and their doctrines and whatever else, to kind of taunt us, and put, tell you to go to how you go to these loan companies and how these people knowing that you can't pay it back and then jack you up off of it. And, they know what they're doing, man. It said they search out all of our inequities very carefully and are strategic with it. So just keep your eyes focused on Bahasham and Yahawashi, and don't trust in this system. Don't go and do nothing with them. Just to the best of your abilities. If you got to go do something, that's inevitable, of course. But the Lord's gonna have the spirit on them to treat you right. It said even your enemies will be at peace with you. So that's all I wanted to come out with. So with the water for tuning in. Y'all stay prayed up. And I'm gonna go try to get some stuff handled so I can, Lord willing, I can do camp later. So shalom.